Work is resuming on the Bronco. So we are back, and in this episode we are going to install radiator mounts and measure for drive shafts, get those in. We're going to work on the steering because we have to change up our steering knuckle situation because of the lift kit. And gosh, I wonder if we'll actually get to drive it at the end of this episode. I don't know what to expect. We'll see. But I do know that we are going to make more progress. So these guys delivered from Wild Horses 4x4, Wild Horses Broncos, Wild Horses 4-wheel drive. The sign's behind me. And it's gonna be good to get these on. Yeah. Let's try these lower mounts.
I am starting my nut at the bottom of this mount. It looks to be in place, but I want to get the upper ones set before I tighten it.
Second lower mount going in. Whoa! I'm gonna lose an eye. There's internet warriors that are typing. This would have been so much easier without your radiator in, lady. And they're right. What's that dripping on me? Is that coolant?
It looks like coolant.
Coming from somewhere. The heck? It's whopper jawed up top. I think I need you to hold it up top for me, Aaron.
Okay.
Because it's wanting to fall in towards the engine and I can't get it placed.
Okay.
So?
Yep. And now we just need to bolt up the top ones, right? I jacked myself up. I'm all messed up now. What's new?
So we're gonna start with bolting the fan to our shroud. We think that's gonna be the easier way to do it. This shroud came with our cold case radiator. Super, super nice.
Yeah.
The radiator turned out really nice once we finally got the right bracketry. Fits well, nice and secure. Find some bolts.
Yep, got them.
Yay. Let me get us big Phillips.
Now let's do a 10mm socket.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Since Aaron got the bolts on the fan onto the shroud, I'm going to put the bolts into the radiator. The pulley is hitting the fan. Awesome. Hey, Aaron. Come check this out.
I was worried about that.
You were, huh?
Yep. Just when I eyeballed it. So,
Even if we had installed
Yeah.
the fan on the shroud after the shroud had been installed to the radiator, we'd still be having this issue, right?
well, you can answer that by pushing it up from the bottom.
Okay.
No, that's not even going to clear the crank. The fact of the matter is, we probably should separate it,
Yeah?
install them independently just to make sure we're not missing something before we go getting too crazy. I mean, do we really
Well,
need a fan? Seems like a luxury to me.
We don't need a fan.
We don't have this problem on our boat. It sucks up fresh water. Yeah.
Eh. Eh.
All right, yeah, let's take that fan back off and try and install them separately.
It just doesn't seem like it's gonna work, but maybe it's
I don't think it
kinda
is,
dumb.
but we need to
try it
try
just
everything.
to try it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I put it up. That's the wrong one. Sorry.
That's okay. You actually put a tool away, so we're good.
I thought I was doing well.
It was on top of the box.
In the vicinity of the toolbox.
You sort of put it away, and I'm proud of you. Ah, you guys, this is frustrating. You guys, this is frustrating, but not as frustrating as the barking dog outside. we started searching online because we're like, man, why isn't this going on? We got on the Wild Horses 4-wheel drive website just to check out and see what they offered, and turns out they have a fan shroud that's for a Bronco with a 2-inch lift. So evidently the configuration changes when you lift the body. Another element is that we have the crank pulley for the AC. So it has a 3rd rib on it, and we're not using it, but it does make it protrude closer to the radiator. So we just measured to see if the flex fan we have over there on Garfield will work on the Bronco just for now, because we really, really want to get this thing driving, and it's gonna fit, we think. So we're gonna pull it off Garfield and pop it on Betty, and then that way we will have a fan taken care of. We won't have a shroud, but, or are we gonna use the shroud?
No, we won't have a shroud.
We won't have a shroud, but we'll be monitoring the coolant temperatures just to be sure that she stays good, and we'll attack making the electric fan and shroud fit at a different point, because we think we're gonna lower it back down and not have a 2-inch body. Okay, we think we have a solution here. This is an adapter to make our flex fan work that we took off of Garfield. And y'all, we know these are not ideal. They will cut your hand off. And clearly nobody wants that, but we really do want to get this Bronco driving so we can drive it off the lift. We've got Roxy that we need to pull on the lift because race week is in a few weeks, and we really need to get the Bronco running, and there's nothing like a little push.
So what I've done is I've put a piece of cardboard, I just taped it to the radiator.
Really smart.
Because, I mean, last thing we want is a hole in the radiator right now when we're trying to get something done in a hurry.
No kidding.
The adapter's gonna fight you, isn't it?
Tightening the last 2 bolts on this fan, and then we are going to check this off the list. Hopefully it clears the radiator okay, because we're like, it's pretty close, but we'll see. Alrighty, jumping in here to finish this TV cable operation. Aaron already sent the cable up through, but we need to get the bracket on up top here on the EFI.
So I've got the TV cable hooked up underneath here. They basically wanted it facing either down or up, based on where your shifter linkage is. Ours is going to hit if we make this little arm go up, but with it going down, we're perfectly fine. One thing I did have to do is this rear bracket was on the cable the wrong direction of how I needed it. It took me a minute to figure that out. It probably says it in the instructions, I just missed it. But I disassembled the cable, flipped that bracket around, and I've got full range on the TV cable. So what we'll do now is we'll run it up, we'll hook it up to the linkage on the EFI, and then set it. We've got to set our pressure to make sure we don't smoke this transmission first test drive.
I've got my instructions. I've been looking at them to figure out the mounting points and the adjustability here with this guy. And then we've got our springs, and we have a little adapter that goes on, almost like a little bracket thing that extends this bottom piece down. So, time to get this on here. Okay, our bracket is tight. Ha. Throttle valve bracket on. Alrighty, we have reached a new point in our throttle cable installation. I'm going to slide this small piece on that clicks.
Sorry, you said throttle cable.
Oh yeah, thank you. TV cable. The TV cable. We're not using a low-car throttle cable, we're using the stock one. But those are easy to get confused, right? Or is it just me? I'm a doofus? Okay, yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, I slid this on, and you know what? Instead of going ahead and cutting our steel cable, I am going to leave it uncut for now. We have ordered a gauge so that we can test the pressure inside the transmission for the throttle valve, and that is very important. We were reading in the instructions and watching videos, and they're like, you can roast your transmission within the first couple of miles if you don't have the pressure right at around 35 psi. So we're taking that seriously. think that's a good thing with this really, really sick transmission from Gearstar. It would be a real big bummer to junk that. We're going to just go ahead and throw this guy on here because I don't want to lose it. It could be a really big bummer. So the kit comes with this little tool that you slide between the head of the cable and then the locking jam nut apparatus. I think we've got that adjusted as much as we can before we get a gauge. So we will resume this project later. Moving on to something else.
So we got this low car dipstick, and it came with this little bracket to mount it, which in our application is not going to work. It insets too far. There's a lip here that would make the dipstick hit. So I got some straps still, bent it, and I'm going to install it just like that. So the dipstick is super easy to get to. But first I have to take it off and drill the holes, mount it, and then we'll put the dipstick back in there. Oops. So we're going to drill 2 holes here so that we can run some screws through there and get this thing mounted. And we might even paint it because it'd look better that way. You guys probably know this because a lot of you are a lot smarter than I am. Many years ago I discovered surface cleaner, or back then it was called wax and grease remover. It's going to take off all the oils on the surface you're about to paint. And I went through such a hard time back in the day getting fish eyes before I discovered this product.
Time for some drive shafts.
You guys are thinking, oh my God, that rear end's leaking. They should have replaced the seal. You're right. But we have a race to go to.
You would be accurate.
and this truck is blocking up our lift. So we have to get the GTO on here. So we are just trying to get it running. Oh, that's a tight slip yoke.
Still not there.
A little harder. That's the problem. You're not folding hard enough. I test fit these by myself, and it was a job. If you guys have never done something like shift an engine back, retrofit an engine, or put a different transmission in to where it changed your drive lines, it's a pretty simple thing. In most big towns, you're going to have a drive shaft shop, and if you'll just measure to the center of your U-joint, to the center of the U-joint on the other end, explain to them that's how you measured it. Take them that measurement. We've had, 20 or 30 of them built and never had a problem with them. They always fit, as long as I read the tape measure right, because I've done that wrong. I have accidentally read millimeters before, which was really stupid. And it cost me $300. $270. That's what they charge for both these. They lengthen the front, shorten the back. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Yep, that's made it up pretty well. I'm gonna put these bolts in the front.
Okay.
I have to remember to hook this speedometer up. Still got hanging in front of my face right there.
Yeah.
If we don't, we're gonna have a massive oil leak. All right.
All right, front drive shaft time, y'all. Going in.
Car yoga. I'm gonna squat.
Alrighty, front drive shaft is in. Now we are on to the mission of installing our custom-built steering shaft from Wild Horses 4-wheel drive. These guys make an awesome unit here. It's got billet universal joints on either end. It's adjustable in the center with this boot, and it has a spring built in here to reduce vibration in the steering. And overall, it's just really nice and well built. We're excited about this part. Let's get to installing it. First step is we are going to pull off this, would you call it a flange?
Yeah, it's a flange.
It's like the piece that the original steering shaft bolted to.
It should have splines right there, so we can just slide the new one up on it.
Yeah, that.
That thing.
So the steering shaft that we have
is specifically for when you lift your Bronco and the steering angle is changed. We were going to modify our stock one, but then we started looking on Wild Horse's website and we were like, that one looks really nice. We should just go ahead and get that one just to be sure that we have something that's adjustable, and the way that we were thinking of modifying ours wasn't going to be adjustable. So I think it's going to be good. Do you want a socket
No.
for your end?
Oh, for this, yeah. I don't know what size it is. That's not going. It's moved. It hasn't moved much. See how it's bending it?
Oh, it's
It's just
bending the flame.
Bending it out, yeah. And I don't want it to bend it so much that it pinches down tighter.
Right.
I just want it to come off. If I have to, I'll cut it.
Oh, you got it.
See you later, fool.
Get out of here.
It's hard to see, but it looks like it's flared out on the end. Ours went up inside there, but maybe somebody else tried to pull it with a puller that was too big.
It won't push on it at all. Oh, it's going on. Why am I wearing a bracelet?
I'm trying to figure that out too.
Got a nylon ring on, wearing a bracelet. What a goober head.
Sweet, good job.
Hey, good job to you. You did all the hard work. Awesome, babe. Tighten that set screw. Bottom one should be I'm not gonna say that. Delete, delete, delete. Okay, what's going on? Look down there instead of up here at me.
That's pretty good right there. Cool.
Need to get me an Allen and probably a 1/2 inch.
Allen.
Tight. That upper nut is tight. It's a heck of an extension setup, babe.
Yeah.
All right.
I like to have enough extensions where I can work from the couch.
I think this bad boy's installed, Aaron.
It looks sick.
It's like the prettiest piece on this whole deal, aside from the EFI.
I was trying to get beauty shots of it, and I was like, the rest of the truck looks like junk. It's kind of embarrassing.
Little by little.
Let's see how we did on steering wheel.
Oh boy.
I know the answer to this one. It's upside down and kind of off to one side. But we're going to change it here, not down there. It'll drive just like that.
Yeah, dude. Alrighty. Here we have a transmission pressure gauge.
Did we buy the wrong one?
Engine oil pressure.
Let's see. This still says engine oil. It says pressure gauge. It's all good. We have adapters.
No difference in a transmission and an engine one.
No, it just needs to be able to go up high pressure like that. Let's see what I ordered. Automatic transmission engine oil pressure tester gauge. We just have to figure out which one of these go inside the transmission.
Their transmission.
Yep.
Sweet. My gosh, I can't wait to see this freaking Bronco on the road. It's time.
I'm ready for a motherfucking quesadilla.
Mother freaking quesadilla.
It's lunchtime. She doesn't give me lunch breaks.
He's hungry. I think I'll be okay. Feed on progress, babe. About to be an oil spill? Nope. It is oily.
Good.
I don't have any dumping out, thankfully.
So we...
Taking a nap. Can you see all these spider webs right here? Ooh, there's the spider right there. Pardon me, sir. Ooh. Going right in.
Look at that. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Like a boss. Alrighty, we are going to throw some chocks. Now, I'm deaf, but that's okay. Who needs hearing anyway? So that we can crank it up and let it run and get up to operating temp. And then we're going to put it in neutral so that we can get our throttle valve pressure all set so we don't smoke our badass transmission. I have no words. That's a mess. Emily. Alright, time to let her warm up.
I killed it. It might be running out of gas. I need to go to the store and get some gas.
Goodness.
All right, it is the next day and we've got gasoline for the Bronco. She is a thirsty little lady. Before we run it more though, we are going to bleed the brakes because yesterday it got hot and then we were like, oh, we want to bleed the brakes, but everything's hot underneath there. Today, because it's cooled down, we're gonna go ahead and get the brakes bled and then we will re-crank it up, get it back up to operating temperature and check that throttle valve pressure and get all that set. And then I feel like it's time to drive it after that. Oh, dang. Let's pump some brakes, babe.
Pump it up. Hold it down.
Holding.
Oh. Got a little bit of air.
Nice.
Go.
We are moving on to making sure that the throttle valve pressure is perfect for our GearStar AOD. Now, I have our low car cable all set in here. So this is our tool that we insert to be sure that we get our pressure set. So with this tool installed, we get our pressure to 34 to 35 PSI in the transmission, and then we remove this and it should drop back down to 0. And then we have to watch our pressure as we rev on it and make sure that it is all set because it's super vital that we get this set correctly as to not injure our transmission. That would be really bad. So let's get on it. It is time to crank her up and let her get back up to operating temperature. We'll check the trans fluid one last time. That looks great. So now we'll go over and look at our pressure. I'm gonna put it in neutral.
There goes neutral.
Okay.
Looks like we have about 55 PSI.
Okay.
So loosen it up, I guess.
Okay.
Is the tool still in it?
Tool is in it. Gonna loosen this up. How's that looking?
We are set at, well, it was like 37, now it's going up to 40. I don't know how accurate this gauge is. It's swinging around a little bit. It's not staying super consistent. It's swinging somewhere between 25 and 40, just depending on what mood it's in at that moment.
Okay.
All right, here's the deal. I don't trust that stupid gauge. I'm gonna go buy a manual oil pressure gauge because it's gonna have smaller ticks on it and numbers. We'll adapt it to that hose somehow, get a reading off of it. If they agree, we know we have some other problem. If the manual oil pressure gauge says that we're at 0, and then when we put it in the key in it, we're at 35, then that'll be a place to start at least.
Okay. Alrighty, it is a new day, and I have just gotten off the phone with Larry at GearStar's tech line. I called him just to be sure that we were on the right track. He said that because this transmission is more higher performance, we should put a little more pressure through that pressure gauge. So we are going to readjust it, do a little bit of tweaking, go up to 45 PSI, and then he said we should be good to go drive it. Oh my gosh, it's about time. Let's do it.
Let's try this junk again.
Fired up. Gonna let it warm up. Be right back.
Okay, going to neutral.
Okay. Tool is in.
Got you at about 32.
Keep going.
Yep, that's at 40.
Okay.
Right, hold it there for a minute. All right, that's 45.
Okay, 45. Let me tighten her down. What's she at now?
44. I'd tighten her.
Okay, it's tight right now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this gauge is not perfect,
Right.
so.
Yeah, I'm happy with 44.
All right, I guess pull the tool out and let's see what we got.
Yeah.
0.
0? Cool.
So now I will give it a little throttle and see what happens.
Okay.
Immediately starts going up.
Good.
Yep, that's perfect.
Awesome. Yay.
We're done. It is set.
Is it time to drive her?
It only took 6 hours to adjust the TV cable.
Holy cow.
That's education, though.
Yep. So it's the same day, but I got super hot and sweaty and gross because I polished the rest of the front of the Bronco. So it looks really nice and spiffy, but I was like pouring sweat. So I went and showered and put fresh clothes on. And now It's time to take it off the list. The lifts. It's time to take it off the lift so we can go for a mother freaking test drive. It's about time.
Oh man.
I'm so excited.
Arm drop.
And I'm out too.
Is this thing actually gonna run again?
I can't believe it. Okay, should we check the rear diff fluid since there's that substantial leak back there?
That's a good idea, but let me pull it forward and kind of get it out of the junk.
Let's pull it forward, babe. Want me to pull it forward?
Why don't you do it?
Okay.
Yes, now we find out if the transmission actually works.
Dude, I'm stoked on it. Okay. Her seatbelts are all cobwebby. Oh, Betty.
We go to the gas station and fill up our gas can because we don't know the range on it.
Brakes feel good, right?
Yeah, it's still fine.
Oh my god, we just drove her out of the shop. This is so great.
Oh, she got more power. Like 3 times the power. Probably up to 200 now.
She made it to the gas station.
It's been half a mile.
Her seat.
We need to take that seat out. I want to check and make sure that that's not the fan ticking, that it is actually the injectors.
Fan hitting something.
Yeah, I think it's the injectors. But
Test drive success.
you're going to be amazed at how strong this engine feels. Must be the sound of the injectors. Cool. Let's try it again.
It doesn't seem like there's something. That's just the sound is getting me. It seems like there's something hitting, or
Might be the drive shaft hitting O2 sensor. Are you talking about the ticking noise?
no. It's
Hell,
like,
it's whatever. That's what I was referring to as ticking.
but it happens when it's just running, so I don't think
Yeah.
it's drive shaft.
Right. Put it in neutral, see if it goes away.
No. It might just be those injectors and that fuel
Could be.
injection.
It's got a leak in my eyeball.
I know. We're getting all the dust and cobwebs and stuff. What's the story with the flywheel? The flywheel is for the old school motor, not the roller motor, and the weight is different.
Yep.
When we first cranked the engine up, Aaron was like, sort of seems like there's a vibration at higher RPM, and he was kind of doing some research and trying to figure out what that could be. And we have the flywheel from Betty's old engine with the roller motor out of the Fox body, so we need to switch that flywheel out. But that would seem weird if it was making this sound.
I don't think it's
Had to
making
do
that
it.
sound. No, we'll see where it's coming from. Sounds like we put a Cummins in it.
He likes it, even his square body. Wow. Okay.
I told you, it's got a lot more power.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, a whole lot more power.
Way more power. That is awesome. Oh, yes. Betty is back. I love her so much. So what do you guys think about the way the Bronco turned out so far? We've got so much work left to do on her, but she's really coming along. We're certainly curious as to what that sound is that we hear through the firewall. We feel like it's the injectors because when we open the hood, it sounds like all the noise is coming from the fuel injection.
The self-learning capabilities of that are so cool. We just cranked it up and it just did all the learning that it needed to do. We never tweaked on it at all. So we're pretty happy with it. As always, we appreciate y'all watching, subscribing, commenting, and if you're interested in supporting the channel more, there is a link to our Patreon down in the description. Lots to look forward to coming up on the channel. We're going to be working on that big enclosed trailer that you saw parked nearby our shop. We've got more boat videos coming. We're getting ready to leave on this event called Rocky Mountain Race Week 2.0 with Roxy, where I'm going to get to drag race more. So there's a lot of good stuff to look forward to on the channel. Hope you're staying safe and healthy and happy, and we can't wait to see you guys on the next episode. See y'all soon.